And we are back, and it is time for the ElseViews. This is where we talk about the different things that we have been watching, and me and Corey have both picked a TV show. I will give quick plugs and mentions to things that um, you can go watch over on Amazon Prime. Swiss Army Man and Mr. Fantastic are freaking great movies. I
I
watched
have
them the
Swiss Army
past.
Man sitting up on my Plex, and I haven't had a chance to watch it. But
Oh, it is
that's one I've
so
been wanting to
good.
get
It's so good. The trailer for it is so great in that it doesn't show too much to spoil the movie. And then Swiss Army Man is, or not Swiss Army Man. Captain Fantastic is such a heartwarming, along the same lines as Logan. If you look at the main plot of character growth for Logan, um, great father children movie, like the relationship between the father and children. Um, but we ain't going to talk about that. Oh, no, no, nay, nay. We are going to talk about some TV shows. And Corey, we're going to start with yours because I watched this too. I really enjoyed the first two episodes of the show, and it is Trial and Error. This airs on NBC in here in America on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. is when the series premiere was. And uh, by all means, since this is yours, explain the show to people.
Okay, so I've been seeing advertisements for this. It One of the things to start out with is that Trial and Error. It is a story about a guy whose wife is murdered, and he is accused of being the killer. He insists that he is innocent, but he's not very convincing. Uh, and and everybody in the town kind of decides, no, this guy did it. And he gets a lawyer from out of state to come to defend him, teams up with some people in town. The important thing to realize first off is that the guy that we're talking about, the person who supposedly murdered his wife, allegedly murdered his wife, is John Lithgow.
Yeah,
And how fucking lucky are we to get John Lithgow back to TV? Uh, just in general, to get John Lithgow doing anything is fantastic. He's one of those just tremendous character actors. A lot of people remember him from Third Rock from the Sun. Going backwards, you can see him in things like, which is funny to me because his character in this is named Larry Henderson. He was in Harry and the Hendersons. I was kind of curious if Larry was the name of the guy from that, but that it was not the character's name. Um, Buckaroo Banzai, The World According to Garp. Like, John Lithgow is a fucking legend and a deserved legend. So just seeing him in the commercials is enough to make me watch this. Then I started getting people saying it's kind of like Parks and Rec, um, but with a murder mystery. And that's a huge selling point too. Now, Parks and Rec, I didn't like the first season, and I think they had to retool after the first season because one, it was a little too much like The Office, and two, the characters just weren't developed enough. But
yeah.
when it found its way, it really found it well. This, I think, is got a little bit of that too. It's like it's introduced a couple of characters, and they're very quirky. They're all quirky characters. Um, some of the quirks are great. Sherry Shepard is in this, and she is a woman who has like every kind of fucking weird thing that you could imagine. She's got it. She
Rare
can't
diseases.
recognize, yeah, she can't recognize people's faces. She just sees a blank space. Sometimes when she sees something beautiful, like a painting, she'll just faint dead away. But my wife loved her character so much. The second episode, she's like, "This is a keeper. This is our show now." Um, the guy playing the attorney, is very good. He's when he's talking to the camera, he's got the same kind of attitude as Rob Lowe's character from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
But you can tell that it's sort of the brave face that he's putting on, and he's not quite as clean as he acts. Jim Mays from
Yeah.
Glee.
So here, I'll put out here. The guy you're talking about is Nicholas D'Agosto, and then Jim Mays is who you're going to mention, but it also stars Stephen Boyer, Krista Rodriguez, and this is weird. On the Amazon, the one we'll link you to is the Amazon link for it, but it lists Sherry Shepherd and John Lithgow as supporting actors.
Right. They all the other people get their introductions, and then it says and featuring Sherry Shepherd and John Lithgow. They get the final credits and the opening credits. But
continue.
It's a lot of fun. It's weird in the ways that you kind of have to wait and see how they develop some of these characters a little bit more. It's only been 2 episodes so far, and I think they did an hour the premiere night.
Yep.
So they kind of go hand in hand with each other. It has the right amount of sweetness. You'll find out in the second episode, John Lithgow's character keeps talking about how he wants this key for his skates. He doesn't roller skate. He roller sizes. So he does an exercise routine with his skates. and he pays more attention to this key than he does to the fact that his wife was killed, or also that his first wife, we find out, was killed in the same manner. It hits the right notes for if you've missed The Office, if you've missed Parks and Rec, this will appeal to you. If you just like anything with John Lithgow, which you should, this will appeal to you. Sherry Shepherd is great in this. I had first seen her on I think it was Less Than Perfect, with Sarah Rue years ago. I loved that show. Had the guy from Chuck on it. I think the cast and everything comes together really well. It's very funny. I don't know how far they can go with the murder mystery thing. I have suspicions of how the season can finish up and then how they can bring it back, but we'll see. But it's so far it's a lot of fun.
No, yeah. This is what I will say about this. I agree with you on a lot of the things. I love the show. I love seeing how they refer to the main character, the defendant lawyer, as a Northeasterner, and I'm using quotes on that, as that you figure out very quickly in the beginning, as a code name for Jewish.
Yep.
And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to use it to my advantage." But I do agree with you. I think the big setback to this show is it seems to be a 1-season premise. I mean, I like hearing, because I've seen the commercials, because boy, howdy have they been playing commercials about this show. But one of the things that they mentioned is that John Lithgow says is that he loves the show so much because even the cast doesn't know if he's innocent or guilty,
right?
And all that, and I like that from this theatrical standpoint of, if they knew, you could see them almost playing a little bit like, "Oh, my character always knew," sort of deal. So instead, it's set up to make not a mockery, but if you're watching the video, you saw the image behind me where it said "unmaking a murderer," and all that, playing on the real crime, serials, making a murderer, things that have come to be popular in recent history, and just really turning it on its head. And it's
also a bit like Gone Girl, which was very popular about a year ago with the film with Affleck, poor Affleck. And it just, I think it hits the right notes at the right time for what it's supposed to be spoofing. But it's also, it's a tremendous cast, and it's fun writing. And I think The title is open enough that it doesn't have to continuously be about this murder trial. It's called Trial and Error, which could just be about the guy continuing to be a lawyer in this small town after that and working with
Yeah.
his team to help him with cases and stuff. There's a lot that they can do, so I'm not worried about it being able to continue. It's just how do they get to continue it with John Lithgow, because John Lithgow I think is priceless, and
Yeah.
you would never want to lose him from this show.
No, definitely. And again, I'm not sure if it's going to stay on Tuesday. I think it is going to stay on Tuesdays, but it will be on Tuesdays on NBC. Probably, I think taking the This Is Us time slot now that its season has ended, which again, I recommend it wholeheartedly. My else view this week, I almost wanted to say nerding out, is Top Gear. Now, I mentioned this earlier in our Slack, and Corey, you're like, didn't you just talk about this? And we might be hitting a problem here with over saturation of the car magazine show, because we have the grand tour with Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond and James May, and now we have series 24 of Top Gear, of the new Top Gear with the new hosts, Matt LeBlanc, Chris Harris, and Roy Reed. And you might think, like, I see why you say like, seems like I talked about this recently, because last time I talked about this was on with the episode where we had Tom Merritt. I had mentioned, I can't wait for the new season, or sorry, series to come out. Um, and boy howdy, am I so glad that this is out. They've retooled it to where Matt LeBlanc, Chris Harris, and Roy Reed are they're the new boys, they're the trio in here, and it works so well. There is enough banter between the three of them, but yet you could tell that they are having fun doing this. Not, well, it's a job, and a little bit like it tends to get with Clarkson, May, and Hammond. But you could tell that it's almost like three friends, who might have met at work, working on the show, just chatting about cars and having a good time.
Well, is it like they're always stuck in second gear?
Hold on. I believe that's what you were looking for, right?
Yeah, I figured you made the Friends reference. There was just no fucking way I was going to let that go with LeBlanc as part
I did
of it.
that inadvertently. I did that so inadvertently. I did not mean to make a Friends reference, and I think they do make a Friends reference in the first episode. But they did tweak some things to the show. I love this new set. This is the BBC breaking away from the original trio of Top Gear with this set. There's a lot more light. It's in there, but it's not like, white clean room. It's just like they got cars up here, like almost like just decoration and stuff like that, and it's cool to see. They've quit doing which they didn't do it last, or I think they did it last season, but some say, about the Stig, it's just, here's the Stig. And the other cool thing is that they changed is the star in a reasonably priced car last season had got changed to star in a rally car. This year it's star in a reasonably fast car. And so they're on the original test track. There's no mud hills or anything like that, but they're driving this almost race car. Like, I could see it in like a stock, stock or super stock competition car, and I'm blanking on the name of it. But the other cool part is they bring the guest in. Like, the first episode was James McAvoy. This past week's episode was David Tennant, and they're talking to them between, after the first part of the film. Like, it might be a like, usually it's been a car review, but or whatever. Then they'll introduce the guest, talk about their cars, talk about different things, and then another part, come back, talk about the lap and all that stuff, get more down to the business of, why they're there, and then finish up the film that they had started before, after, seeing the lap. And it's so good. Um, the other part that I will mention is, with Top Gear comes Extra Gear, the or the BBC Three exclusive, and they kept that going. And what that is here is they have a new host in there, and they're still giving behind the scenes stuff. And I love these behind the scenes stuff. They were showing some of the quote or some of the times that the other contestants had put in for the reasonably fast car, and seeing this car, I want to go over and do the lap in that car. One, to have Chris Harris teach me how to drive the car and then how to drive a stick shift, but because that car looks so fast, and David Tennant already dinged it. But no, that's one of the things that they showed is it is so easy to spin this car.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Tennant's Doctor Who, but I don't remember him being a very careful driver in the fucking TARDIS either. So I think I bang around all the fucking time.
Yeah. The one thing I didn't check, like I honestly forgot to check, was if it's available on BBC America now. But I do know it is available in it's on Sunday nights at 9, I believe, 9 or 10 in the UK. But oh, hey, yeah, it's here Sundays at 8 on BBC America, so it's like boom boom. So we are all good there. But yeah, and it's just good. This is what last season should have been. In all honesty.
But do you feel like maybe last season was almost played out to be like a palate cleanser of, okay, everybody expects the new Top Gear to suck because we lost all the original hosts, so we're just gonna let it suck, and then you guys will be so grateful when it comes back the season after that and it's improved?
Well, I think what it was last year, and you could see that, I could see that very well, but what I think it was with last year, it was them not having the right hosts together. Like, I do think it was a mistake to get Chris Evans, not Cap America, host of on the radio over in England, Chris Evans, host of the former show TGI Fridays, I think is what it was. It was him coming in and him doing his radio personality and all that. That's what rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, was that it didn't work for the show. And some of the things that they did, it seemed like they were trying to force a connection, but in that with this new, I saw the connection instantly with Extra Gear last year, because that was Rory Reed and Chris Harris doing that. And I don't think they really interacted with Matt LeBlanc in on the stage for Top Gear. Like, there was a little bit, like I think there's like one scene with Chris Harris, and that worked really well. But the other parts, in some of the films, I could see that connection there starting too, and that's where when it ended that season, and I saw that Chris Harris was leaving, like, they don't need to cast anyone else. They have their 3 guys, and I put it. I'm like, boom, 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 and I called it. I am celebrating my called shot right there, because I said, that it's going to be Roy Reed, Chris Harris, and Matt LeBlanc hosting this, and sure enough, it is. Now, could they bring in the other 2 that were in there? That I think is Eddie George and Sabine Schmidt. Yeah, I don't see why not, but they don't necessarily need to. but yeah, I mean, honestly, here, check out Top Gear. It airs here in America on Sundays at 8 p.m. and you can find it, over all over the world. And that is the end of ElseViews. We will be right back.